Victimization. There are two areas in my healing work where I find that people get stuck around the issue of being a victim or having been a victim in the past. The first place people get stuck is in denying that they have been a victim. If you don't realize that you were victimized, for example, in your family, you might have been a victim, but you might not want to look at it because that would require you to look at certain aspects of your family dynamics that you don't want to look at. Like, you might have to realize that one or both of your parents was abusive or unfair on a certain level, on a level that you don't want to look at because maybe you mythologize your parents or maybe you feel guilty about thinking about what they did to you. So denying the fact that you have been victimized is a really bad place to get stuck. Because if you can't admit that you have been victimized, then you're not going to clear that blockage, and you're going to probably end up being a victimizer in the future. So that's one place that you don't want to get stuck. But the next place kind of seems opposite. And the next place is identifying as the victim forever and getting stuck in that identity. Excuse me, getting stuck in the victim identity. Once you do realize that you have been a victim, it's a really easy step to become identified as a victim. And anybody then that would challenge this identity, you then put them in the category of victimizer, somebody who denies your victimization, is kind of continuing your victimization. And so it's a really, really tricky one. Because while on the one hand, you do need to acknowledge what happened, you do need to acknowledge that you didn't deserve what happened. And you need to realize that you were a victim. But on the other hand, you don't want to sit in that for too long. Because being a permanent victim means that a lot of your crap can be shielded for the rest of your life. You can't talk to me that way because I'm a victim. You can't disagree with me because you are re-victimizing me. You can't ask me to think about my victimization differently because that just puts you in the category of all the people that told me to shut up and not talk about it, and it wasn't so bad. So it's really tricky. So, what's the solution? Well, first of all, you do, as I said, have to acknowledge that you've been victimized. But secondly, you need to, once you've done that, you need to start considering yourself more of a manifester than a victim. I always tell people you can either be a manifester or you can be a victim. It's a lifestyle. It's a way to look at everything. And if you choose victim, it's really cozy. Nothing's your fault. Everything is because you're a victim. But some of the worst criminals in human history were really horribly victimized as children. But at some point, You can't blame your victimization on your actions. There's no get out of jail free card for being a victim after a certain point. At a certain point, we have to clear these energies. We need to heal ourselves and heal our wounds. And we need to take our lives to the next level. And the next level is understanding that we need to clear the decks of all these old painful issues so that we can manifest an authentic life that showcases our talents and enables our life purpose. Thanks for watching.